Also tonight, an inmate charged with murder on the brink of starvation. Now Kimberly Kessler needs to be force-fed. That's according to her jailers. The Nassau County Sheriff filed an emergency petition this week asking a judge to decide who is responsible for preventing her death. Kessler is charged with the murder of Jolene Cummings, a Yulee hairstylist and mother of three. This happened back in 2018, as you probably remember. Kessler, whose mental competence has been in question since her arrest, is now down just to 89 pounds. That's according to a court filing we read today. Sheriff Bill Leeper contends someone needs to do an immediate medical intervention to prevent her death, but it's not clear whose responsibility it is. His, the state attorney's office, or the public defender. The judge in her criminal case previously found Kessler mentally competent to stand trial. Her public defender argues she needs to be at a mental hospital, but prosecutors have successfully fought attempts to commit her, and as a result, Kessler remains in jail. Circuit Judge James Daniel will take up the issue of her competence again at a hearing on Monday. There is no court date set for the sheriff's emergency petition.